Hey guys, Sonia here checking in. Just to let you know I had my procedure and I'm leaving the hospital now, and I want to tell you all about it because maybe one of these days you're gonna have to do it too, and I don't want you to be scared. It was actually a lot less worse than anything I could have imagined. It was really okay. So this morning I had to drink some magnesium citrate to finish the prep. You know, honestly, the prep wasn't as bad as I thought. And let me tell you why I was worried about the prep, especially because I had just come across the video of a lady saying the nightmare of prep or something like that. Man, there's so many people around, it's like super distracting. In the days before I came to do this procedure, of course I was looking at stuff on YouTube, you know, about what to expect. And there was this one video, which I didn't actually watch. I just saw the thumbnail of it, and it was something about like the horrors of colonoscopy prep. There's some old lady sitting there. It didn't look very interesting, and I didn't click on it. But I was like, horrors, geez, how bad is this gonna be, you know? So I don't know. I guess I was just expecting that it was gonna be like really unpleasant. Well, even without watching her video, that lady scared me. I was really nervous. And then the prep actually was not that big of a deal. It was not even like, put it this way, having an actual gastro is 100 times worse. This was nothing like that. Actually being sick is much worse than doing a little prep. So then this morning I had to do a little more prep. I had to drink some magnesium citrate. And again, it was not a big deal. Seriously, there's nothing to worry about. I don't know why there's so much hype about it, but anyway. Then here's the next part, the waiting. So I get up here. So I get up to the hospital, and it's St. Mary's, which incidentally is where I was born. And appropriately, the GI department is in the bowels of the building, down in the basement. And it's kind of weird when you come out of the elevator. If you look to the left, it's like all pipes, you know, and it doesn't look like they'd be doing medical procedures around here. But then you go to the right, and that's where the clinic is. And it's super old, like it hasn't been renovated since probably the 90s, which that's cool. I like old school, you know. So that's what it was like down in the basement. And they made me wear a mask. They said it was hospital policy. But anyway. So my appointment was at 10:30, so I got here pretty much on time. And I was told that the procedure wasn't scheduled till 11:45. Now I realize in retrospect that what's really going on here is it's a clinic, and they just give everyone the same time. You're either morning or afternoon. And if it's morning, come in at 10:30. You're scheduled for 11:45, but you're not really going to be seen at 11:45. So I got there at 10:30. I was seen by the intake nurse or whatever at about 11:45. I didn't actually have the procedure until about 2:30. So I was up there for 4 hours waiting. And I don't know if it's because of my back injury or if it's because they had a mask on my face. They made me wear one, super uncomfortable, or just the sitting around. I got so uncomfortable. I was starting to feel like I was gonna jump out of my skin in that waiting room. Like really, it was difficult. Yeah, I was just like super uncomfortable sitting in there. It was starting to feel like it was unbearable. Like I felt like I was gonna lose control of myself. I was already having like tics, and I was stretching up against the pole, and I haven't felt like that in a long time. I think it was the mask that did it mostly. Maybe the sitting and like tension in my shoulders. And I had a bit of a headache because I guess I was dehydrated. And it was 4 hours of waiting, and like the more the time passed, like the worse I felt. So then when they came to get me, I was like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Well, the prep was done, and here I was waiting, and I was nervous about the drugs. But you know what? After 4 hours of sitting in that waiting room and becoming progressively more and more uncomfortable and miserable, by the time they brought me in for the procedure, I was ready for the drugs. So what it is a small cocktail of Versed and spiked with a little fentanyl, for good measure. When I mentioned that I was doing this in my video, a lot of you guys said, oh, who's going to be bringing you there? Who's going to be picking you up? Well, they're not going to let you do this if you don't have somebody to bring you and pick you up. Guess what, guys? Look, I came in by myself. I'm leaving by myself. I'm taking the metro. I feel totally fine. I was scared. I thought I was going to be really damn loopy, but I wasn't. And I didn't even get the amnesia effect. So let me tell you about the procedure. First of all the staff were really nice. They did the IV in my hand on my request. I told the guy, you get one shot at doing it in my wrist, and if you can't do it, I don't want you poking around. He tried my wrist, it didn't work. Put it in my hand. End of story, let's move on. So after waiting around for a very long time, which actually I welcomed the time I had to lie on the stretcher because I was really tired. Finally, they come bring me in. It's a super nice Polish orderly. We're having a little chit chat. And then they bring me into the room. And honestly, it looked like an office. When it finally dawned on me that this is the procedure room, I was like, what? It just looked like a little office, you know? It didn't look like a medical room, but anyway. Again, very, very nice staff. And so they gave me the little cocktail. And I felt pretty good. Like for a minute there, it was like all of a sudden I felt like really, really relaxed. And it kind of relaxed where you're like, oh yeah, bring it, you know? And I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. I'm kind of enjoying this. Actually, before he started, I had said to one of the guys, oh, you know, people were scaring me about this, about, you know, it's unnecessary. There's all these risks and they could, and I said, he said, what kind of risks? And I was like, well, somebody said, you know, they could go the wrong way and puncture your pancreas. And he actually let out this laugh that was so sincere. It was the kind of laugh that would burst out of you if you had heard something that was completely ridiculous. And I knew from the sincerity of that laugh that this never happens here. And I think it does happen sometimes, but it's extremely rare. And it's not really something that I needed to be worrying about, you know? So during the procedure, you actually don't feel that much. And there's a screen. There's actually two monitors, one on each side, and you can see what they're doing. And they're going through your colon. It looks pretty clean. Let me tell you, when it's all cleaned out like that, it looks like, I don't know, like it just looked like a very knobbly sort of passage, right? So what they found was a couple of polyps, which is normal. But, you know, better safe than sorry. While you're in there, you take them out, send them for pathology. My parents have had polyps also, had them removed. Now, I have apparently, according to genetic tests, a very strong risk for colon cancer. So it's just as well to get the thing done and get the polyps out and just, you know, stay on top of things. But that's not the real reason I did it. And I didn't mention this in my other video because I didn't really know what was wrong with me. And I didn't want to say, well, it could be this or it could be that. So I had to endure everybody telling me that I shouldn't be doing it, but I did it for a very good reason. So the reason I did it was that I had pain in my bum and I had some bleeding. And I thought, of course, I'd probably just have hemorrhoids, you know? Sorry, TMI. But it happens after you've had children and they can sort of go away and then come back. So I actually went to the doctor, you know, in January, and I was like, I think I have hemorrhoids because I had this horrible pain and I had some bleeding. And the thing was, she checked me and she's like, I don't see any hemorrhoids. So she's like, come back in 2 weeks. Actually, no, the first time I came in, I said I have pain, but I didn't have any bleeding. I come back 2 weeks later and I'm like, yeah, I still have the pain. Now I have some bleeding. She checked me again. She's like, I don't see anything. So this is why they were like, okay, you should really have a colonoscopy because there's something not right. And I agreed. Definitely something's not right. This has been going on now since like started in January, and yeah, it's been going on for like a month or something. So I saw that first doctor twice, and then I actually got a second opinion because the first one, she was like a student or a resident. So I went to see someone else who had more experience, but he didn't see anything either. So I figured, okay, I better go do this. So I went to do the colonoscopy today, and what they found is that I have internal hemorrhoids. That's what it is. They're internal and they're causing me pain and they're causing bleeding. And you know what? It's probably not much you can do about them, but it's really good to know that that's what it is. It's not anything really dangerous. but we didn't know what it was. It could have been something worse. So I have peace of mind now, and also I know that in general my colon seems to be fine, and they also took out a couple polyps. So that's that. I just feel like it was the responsible thing to do. I didn't want to just like pretend that there's nothing and, you know, ignore the problem and it'll go away, because I didn't know what it was. And so there, I'm glad I got it over with. It really wasn't that bad. And the drugs, honestly, I think they were really short acting, because I had them not that long ago, and I feel like I'm okay. I'm certainly okay to go home. But yeah, as you see, I survived. I'm fine, and I think it's good to be proactive. You know, if you have something wrong with you, don't just ignore it and go, oh well, I'm not gonna go and have those tests, that this is all part of the Rockefeller agenda, or you know, whatever. If you feel like you want to know what something is, you want to check it, you should go and get it checked out. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, and I did not feel bloated or come out of there feeling bloated, and they did not make me make a huge fart in front of everyone while I was there. None of that happened. I felt totally normal. And that's it. Anyway, I hope that this was useful to you. I hope it's encouraging to you that really it's not that bad. I know that if I ever have to do this again, I won't be scared. And that's it. Thanks so much for being there. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next time.